So while, yes, the Witch from Mercury story is over, why not do the Warlock of Mars? This universe got a lot of untapped potential. Wink wink nudge nudge, you know what I'm saying? You can confirm all the new Gundam Seed movies you want, but I think it's the Warlock from Mars, or give me anything with this universe, damn it. I mean, I've been saying for a while that I thought the Witch from Mercury story very well could end in 2 cores, but in normal TV Gundam fashion, we would come up, similar to even Iron-Blooded Orphans. Once Core 2 ended, that's when they announced the next 2 cores. I think we're all pretty much expecting that, and then it just is like, the Witch from Mercury story's over, which, honestly, yeah, the Witch from Mercury story does seem over, but I feel like, as I've been saying, this universe in particular has so much untapped potential, but maybe we're in a new era of Gundam when we're not going to really know how many cores they're going to do anymore. Rather than the typical 4-core formula, maybe they're saying, you know what, if we have a 2-core story to tell, we'll do so, but honestly, it feels like leaving money away if you don't do more in this universe, but at the very least, we got the marriage ending, and that was really damn sweet and adorable. Initially, when Aries, like, talking to Miriam, and she's, like, wheeling her, like, briefcase or suitcase away, and, you know, we're talking about sister-in-law, I was like, okay, are we just gonna kind of, like, just a little bit of a wink-wink, nudge-nudge that our girls ended up getting married or something, and then, no, we see them cuddling up, we see the rings on their finger, and honestly, that shit was sweet and adorable. Do I wish Prosper would have died? Yeah, I do, personally. I think her love went a little too twisted and did a little too much harm, but hey, you know what? I do like how this ended. I think it was actually a much more peaceful and sweet outcome than many people were probably predicting. And while this episode I already know is not going to be for everyone, I imagine there's going to be a group of people upset with the ghostly talks. I imagine there's going to be some people upset with our girl not becoming a vengeful, murder-filled girl who just tried to kill everyone. There's going to be a lot of varying opinions, but this is how I feel. I leave this show very satisfied. There's only one thing I would have changed about this show, and I'm not sure exactly where I would have placed it, but I would have added probably 2 or 3 more episodes to the Witch from Mercury show as a whole. Maybe an extra episode in Core 1, a couple episodes in Core 2. Not to say, like, I didn't like how they resolved everything. I did. I actually thought, for me personally, this episode worked pacing-wise, but maybe their last episode, maybe extending that a bit more, like the battle in particular. But overall, I do leave very satisfied in terms of modern Gundam. Yeah, this was definitely my favorite modern Gundam, hands down. Now, full live reaction to this wonderful episode or any of the previous episodes of Gundam Witch from Mercury are available on my Patreon if you would like to see my full uncut thoughts as I watch today's final episode. But hey, Gundam's always coming back. They announce new movies all the time, they just did, and you never know, maybe in a month or 2 we'll have a confirmation that, hey, this did so well, we weren't planning to, but we're gonna do more in this universe. I feel like that's still likely, but if this is how they have to leave us off, I'm happy to see that it ended well, all things considered. I think my favorite part of the resolution of Quiet Zero is that when you look at what Suletta was doing and how she was going about things, she wasn't being vengeful, she wasn't being rage-filled. So the idea of, rather than exploding Quiet Zero in this fiery fashion, to see that, like, rainbow burst and just, like, how it dissolves peacefully, I thought was a really nice touch. And even though I was in denial, I was like, they ain't actually gonna kill her, like, there's no way she's gonna wake up. I gotta admit, the directing was really solid when Mio, like, you can't hear anything. For once, Gundam understands that there's no sound in space, and we hear nothing. We can tell she's screaming inside her helmet, and then she wakes up and you just see that adorable "don't ever make me do that again." I was like, okay, that's pretty damn sweet, if not a little sick that you made us think that. But either way, I thought it was kind of like a nice callback, whether from the beginning of the show with the prologue, I mean, her finally seeing her husband again, and, you know, I think it was the mom and everything, just seeing everything come together, seeing the Ellen that we miss. I mean, the boy that was supposed to meet us on the bench in Core 1 before getting replaced by who we thought was going to be the worst character ever, and it turns out to actually be a pretty great best boy in him by himself here. I thought it just felt like, while this wasn't what I expected, I have to kind of respect that. I think in general, when you look at the creators and the directors, the writers, and how they were talking about Witch from Mercury prior to it dropping and shortly after it was dropping, was that not only were they trying to reach a new generation of Gundam fans, but also they were trying to make Gundam different than how it was before. And I think when you look at the entire package of this, the different type of episode count, the structuring, the drama and everything, the fact that, you know, even taking the typical Earthian and Spacian story and kind of flipping them around perspective-wise of what you usually associate each with, it really did leave a satisfying impact to me. I don't like Prosper, personally. I really don't. I understand her story completely and what love does to twist someone. But at the end of the day, yeah, I think maybe she deserved a bit more punishment. But at the same time, when the hero of the day pretty much says leave her alone, and she's kind of, well, she can't walk anymore. Maybe that is enough as a bit of a reward sort of a thing, and it makes sense, right? I'm just glad that Eri got to stick around, even if it is just a voice traveling with them inside just different pieces of artificial intelligence or machinery. It's nice to see that. But I think what they did a really great job with kind of like the montage of like 3 years later, seeing that the tech that we wanted to use for medical purposes is without a doubt being used for medical purposes. Seeing that the last time Neo went to Earth or anywhere to calm down the protests, what did Prospero do? Big ass explosion and everything, and shit hit the fan. This time, it actually goes the way they want. To me, it just feels like you can leave it feeling like, yeah, this was actually a lot more hopeful by the end, if anything. And while a lot of anime fans, just based on my experience from my own comment section, looking at discussions online, the more peaceful things are usually a little more heated discussion-wise, like, oh, there should have been more death, or there should have been more this or that. I like it. I like that this show did something different. You can go absolute despair-filled ending. Some of my favorite movies and TV shows, anime, have very dark endings, and I do like those, but I can't deny the fact that I feel happy leaving this show. I really do. I'm surprised that it's over, because Gundam just doesn't do it like this, but like I say, you want to give me Warlock from Mars, you want to give me the Witch from Earth, I don't care. You can keep going in this universe. Movies, TVs, series, OVAs, ONAs, I don't care. There's a lot to do in this universe. But if this was the actual end, as they're saying that the Witch from Mercury story's over, this is a great stopping point for them. But I feel like this universe is bigger than just Suletta and Myrene. And I think that's kind of the purpose of these two cores, to show you a great new universe, a great new timeline, and honestly, I can leave satisfied personally. Well, maybe we didn't get to see after they fused in this like epic big battle like we were expecting. I kind of like some of the logic of why certain characters didn't fight, like, hey, we don't want to get caught up in the giant crossfire of the weapon of mass destruction. Kind of made sense. And I think because this had a more peaceful and hopeful ending, it makes sense that rather than going explosive fighting, they actually went a lot more hopeful and loving, which does make sense. May not be for everyone, and hey, tastes and opinions will differ, but I like what they did. Overall, this was a very, very good show. Like I said, maybe 26 episodes, give or take. That's maybe the only thing I would have changed about this, rather than 24, maybe go 26. Just extend a few different scenes throughout the run just to make it feel a little more fleshed out. But if the worst I can say for me anyway is that I just wanted a couple extra episodes, that's not the worst thing that a show can do. Because overall, I did like the ending, and honestly, it was really nice seeing all the characters come back. I mean, when she sold off everything and then seeing our boy resign, be like, peace bitches, I'm gone. And seeing that cranky old wench just shrivel up and almost die. Yeah, that alone made for a good ending in my opinion. But let me know what you thought, whether of this episode or maybe The Witch from Mercury as a whole. Would you like to see spin-offs in this universe or different time skips and stuff? Let me know what you're feeling down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more videos on the channel. And hey, as I mentioned, we do have that Patreon. We got a bunch of live reactions on this series, and I also give video shoutouts if you're interested. Like Tech Knight, Teeny Bopper, Rise for Mullins, and Frozen Zero are getting today. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.